Hello, welcome to Festival Talk with me, your host, Michael Festival, here at Electric Picnic with JOE.ie, your home for festival entertainment, or Festertainment, as it's sometimes known. We're talking about laughter today. Now, laughter is known to cause pain, make people double up and even cry. But what is laughter, and how do we stop it? Joining me today is Dr. Tony Cantwell of the Laughing Institute. Tony, you're very welcome to Electric Picnic, all right?
Delighted to be here. I'm gonna touch it over there.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah.
Okay, that was awkward. So I know you through your online videos,
Yeah.
right? I didn't realise you did stand-up. How long have you been doing stand-up for?
I've been doing stand-up. I've been doing on and off for about 7 years. I did very unsuccessfully for about 5 years in London. And I kept trying to figure out a way of differentiating myself. So I think like for years in London, I kept going out being like, hey, I'm Irish and I'm in the IRA. Just that was my genuine opening joke for a few years. So I'd love to say professionally 3 years and 4 years in absolute agony. Yeah.
Were you kind of taken off as the videos broke, or were the videos kind of your thing that got you into the professional realm?
Well, I'm very lucky in terms of because I know how hard it is to do like a 5-minute set, grow that into a 7-minute set, grow into a 10-minute, and get spots and move along like that. I'm very fortunate in that because of the videos, I was able to skip the queue. Like there's some incredible comedians in Dublin that just don't get the same kind of opportunity like that. So that was definitely where I'm like, well, look, people are willing to listen to me for 15 minutes. Then I better have something worth the people who are putting in those hours that have literally built it up to be on a tandem with that. So I was very keen to try and get good very quickly within that short space of time.
Yeah. How have the live shows been going? Because I went to see you at Live Feed in the Sugar Club,
Thank you very much.
and I absolutely loved it. How long did it take you to kind of build a set of that size? Because you have music, you've got like sketches, you've got all sorts of stuff like.
Well, it's the sort of thing where you have an hour to fill, so you throw everything. Like I'm still doing a rap that I wrote when I was 12 about girls who play camogie, which literally you just have to throw everything at it. Now, I mean, I'm effed. I'm not going to swear. I'm effed next year because that was literally everything leading up to that. But I'm comfortable enough now that I feel like I can start incorporating the characters a little bit more and bringing kind of weird things and being a bit more audio visual and just having, the first few years is just figuring out how to get your arms from here to here, and just been able to kind of actually be comfortable on stage. And now luckily because of Edinburgh and doing all those I am. But that was pretty much everything. But then for maybe the last 25 minutes, taking about a year just to get that together. Yeah.
So you said there you lived in London for about, was it 5 years?
Yeah.
Why did you come back?
You ask.
What the hell are you doing here?
Ask an excellent question.
How dare you?
Because the opportunities were there. My wife got an incredible job, so we moved initially for that, and then it was like, well, we've seen the videos, would you like to get a spot here? And I was never asked for a spot, so I'm like, I can actually do this full time, and literally moved back, was able to do it full time. It's been incredible. Yeah.
So you're doing the Dublin Fringe.
Yes.
This month. Are you excited for that?
I'm really excited. I'm in Smock Alley, so it's made me think right, well, this is a proper theatre space, and made me kind of think a bit more in terms of getting the production and getting more just thinking about a larger scale production rather than just the single mic. I'm sure people would probably tolerate that, but I'm now trying to figure out how I can actually make it worthy of a 500-year-old space that's 30 meters radius to even just the stage to walk around. So I'm very keen to kind of do something a little bit different for that. Yeah.
So you're talking there about other kind of talented Irish comedians. If you were to create your own kind of Electric Picnic comedy festival lineup, who would your ideal people be on that?
Well, I tell you, this chap here on the mic, Mr. Michael Festival. Huge fan of yourself. I'm a huge fan of Justine, who as well. Your work. I think she's incredible. I mean, my homies, Kevin McGahern and Alison Spittle, I think they're two funniest, to be so young and so genuinely understanding of what is fundamentally funny. They'll make a difference in any festival. Huge fan of Shane Clifford. Huge fan of a good pal of mine, Liam Nugent. Now, he rubs people up the wrong way. He's politically not a snowflake, but
he's fantastic though. I think that's kind of his thing though, is to be as offensive as possible.
It is. And he just doesn't give a toss. He just does the community centres, and that's what it is. So he'd be big for that. I'm a big fan of comedian Richie Bree. Richie Bree is probably one of the best MCs I know in comedy, in the Dublin comedy scene. He's really, really good at getting people going. Who else? Oh God, I'm definitely going to, I'm leaving out loads of people here. Ali Fox is an incredible stand-up comedian, really, really funny, very, very funny stories from home. And loads of other people that I'm going to offend for not remembering right now. Yeah.
Have you worked with any other kind of comedians apart from doing your live set?
Yeah, well, like the Dream Gun guys, I did there at the Edinburgh Fringe with them. I'm doing the Dublin Fringe with them. I've done Kilkenny every time with them. They are probably the single best comedy writers I know operating, today. And the people they have, like Hannah Mamlis, Ed Salmon, who are on that team, they're just so unbelievably funny. So much so they got a mention in every single Edinburgh review. I got one mention in the Edinburgh review. They said that I did a really good Jeff Goldblum impression, so I'll take that.
That's all we strive for as comedians and as entertainers. So what's next for Tony Cantwell?
I'm very keen to go back to what I really, really love, with just doing single characters in short form. I think I've alienated now for a while doing the comedy thing, and people have been, not that people are impatient or whatever, but I think people have kind of understood why I might not be posting as much, but I'm very keen just to go back to those minute, 15 second. I think there's a beautiful time frame that people have when they look at their phone, when they're on the bog, or a date gets up from the table, that gets to fill that void that physically RTE or a TV show or anything can't do. Just short form kind of comedy pieces like that, and I'm very keen just to go back and do more characters and stuff like that.
I love doing that stuff because it's just like, I usually do about 40 seconds, or I do like a minute and a bit, and it's just you can have the idea, you can get it done in 20 minutes, and it's kind of very instinctual in that, like, you get it out of you as soon as you think of the funny thing, and it's still really funny to you, and I think that comes across.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen it where you do something like that, and then you're like, I know, you think, right, this is a bigger idea and I want to put it together with a larger draft. And there's some things that are like, yeah, I should have done a larger draft, or I should have got more production involved. But there are those bits that's just, no, that is just 30 seconds on a phone, and that's all it was ever supposed to be, and there's some bits you just kind of hold on to like that. So I'm keen to kind of mix those ideas of doing a longer form. I do want to do a web series that I've had an idea for a while. I definitely want to do that, but I'm very keen just to be like the go-to guy that you pick up your phone and that's comedy for you. Yeah.
So that was Tony Cantwell. It wasn't what he said, it was the way that boy spoke to me.